No, it wasn't just the evil white kids narrative that was so tantalizing to the media, but so too was the story of Nathan Phillips, the Native American activist with a truly heroic backstory.
Sparking outrage. The video showing high school students coming face to face with a Native American veteran at the Lincoln Memorial.
Well, Nathan Phillips, I want to first thank you for your service. We know that you are a veteran of the Vietnam War.
School and local dioceses have apologized to Phillips, a Vietnam veteran.
But now multiple outlets offering corrections, noting that he was in the Marines during the war, but never served in Vietnam. So he was a Vietnam era vet. Still important, but nevertheless, correction in order. There are also some other stories coming to light. Just this past Saturday, same guy, Phillips, who's very busy over the weekend, and his group of activists attempted to storm, check this video out, Washington, D.C.'s Basilica, the national shrine, during an evening mass. There they are. A guard, they haven't changed the drum, a guard telling the Catholic news agency, quote, "It was really upsetting. There were about 20 people trying to get in. We had to lock the doors and everything." Apparently they locked the parishioners inside. Now, given Phillips' media remarks since the standoff with Covington, especially his commentary about their education, is it fair to ask whether there is an anti-Catholic bias at play? Here to discuss, President of the Catholic League, Bill Donahue. Bill, anti-Christian, anti-Catholic. The commentary, and I want to read something to you, Bill. This is a quote from Mr. Phillips Sunday to the Detroit Free Press. The black Israelites, those are those nuts that were screaming at the monument, at the Lincoln Memorial, they were saying some harsh things, but some of it was true, too. These young, white American kids were being taught in their Catholic school, their doctrine, their truth. And when they found out there's more truth out there than what they're being taught, they were offended, they were insulted, they were scared. And that's how they responded. The seething contempt for the Catholic faith, as expressed by him. He's since kind of cleaned up his rhetoric. But what do you think about that?
Well, it wasn't the white kids who called the Indians savages. It was the black thugs. And yet this guy didn't go after the blacks, did he? The Hebrew Israelites. No, he went after the Catholic Church. He tried to storm the church. That's what the Nazis did in Germany. They went into the synagogues to disrupt the services. If you try to disrupt a religious service, it's against the law in Washington, D.C. It's also a hate crime. There were three groups here, Laura. Only one was not involved in anything racist, and that was the white kids. The Indians were there taunting the kid. The Indians were there storming the church. The blacks made comments about blacks, which were racist, whites, which were racist. They attacked Puerto Ricans. They attacked Catholics. They called the Indians savages. And yet somehow the only group which did nothing to provoke any of this is the one being blamed by the left media.
Yeah, and the black Israelites, the media kind of ran right over what they said. They didn't really focus on that. Called the boys incest babies. A lot of it didn't make sense and was fairly ungrammatical. However, it was just the most cruel, horrific. Again, this is what they do, and this is their big act. But Mr. Phillips himself, I mean, he keeps kind of passing himself off as a Vietnam vet. But we talk to Vietnam vets who served in Vietnam, and they're very sensitive. Because I spoke to one in particular, I wish he would come on the show, but maybe he will tomorrow. One in particular who was not happy about that. There's a big difference, and Marines take it very seriously.
Look, he's
not to disrespect any service, but Marines take that particular phraseology very seriously, which I did not know until today, frankly.
Well, the other thing is I'm not going to join the pity parade, all right? This guy's a Vietnam-era vet. Guess what? So am I. I'm a senior citizen. He's not. Yet he's regarded as frail elder. This guy's an activist. This guy's a thug.
A professional activist.
Absolutely. And he knew what he was doing. He was badgering the kid. He wanted that kid to say something vile. He never did it. He held the restraint. And shame on the Diocese of Covington for not standing by him and so many other people. I have no problem with people like Robbie George, who made an absolutely wonderful apology. Matthew Schmitz and Sobran Ahari and others.
He shouldn't have jumped on him in the beginning. But, yeah, you're right. Bobby's a good guy. But what about these Ed Beck, James Martin? These are leftist priests who revel in anything that can reflect badly on the president. They are so political. I suggest that they stick to the gospel and stay out of politics, because they're driving people out of this Catholic Church with their proselytizing on politics morning, noon, and night. It's tedious, and most Catholics I know don't like it one bit. Bill, you're the greatest. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, both of those guys are guilty, much worse than what you even indicated.
All right, thanks so much.